Pisces, welcome to your end of October 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So there's going to be a new moon on October 27th at 4 degrees of Scorpio. So that will be in your 9th house of long distance travel and just general expansion. It could be university level teaching or learning. It could be some kind of a religious pursuit, perhaps, that you're engaging in. Maybe language, teaching English as a second language, or whatever language as a second language. Oh, I think I got the same two exact. That is so weird. What sign was it? I got those same two cards. I think it might have been, was it Virgo? Oh my gosh, it's like a mirror image. So, for what that's worth, that doesn't happen every day. And that's your opposite sign, so there you go. Okay, I'm going to pick an additional card. It's funny, I've been getting these reversed cards. That's funny. Two cards came out as for my additional cards, I think. Let me see if these are two cards. These are to be stuck together. So I'm going to use both of them. I'm going to put them down here. Okay. The heart of the matter is the Star card. So this is about following your heart, maybe, your dreams. Your vision for yourself, and about maybe feeling connection with somebody who's crossed over, who may be trying to help you to kind of make your next move. And sometimes, to me, this card is hope restored after maybe you've been going through a lot and feeling disappointed and feeling rather let down by a situation, that you start to feel good again about life, and it just gives you that sense of inspiration. There could be something, you know, like I said, you're going to have that new moon in the 9th house, so that could be, it could be like a spiritual reawakening or something. And I would even say, if some of you have gotten sober, the 7 of Cups in the past position is... This is a card that is connected to you through Neptune. And one of the possibilities can be muddled thinking, or kind of like addictive behavior, or something that creates within you a lack of clarity. Maybe wanting something that is unrealistic. And and possibly doing so because you're not really tuned into the reality of the situation. You know, sometimes people, they want a relationship that isn't really a good one, and they are pursuing it, and if they're lucky, it doesn't come to pass because it's going to lead to more heartache. But sometimes the 7 of Cups can actually be that there's so many options that you have that you're just kind of like overwhelmed by your choices. And some of the choices might be better than others. In the Rider-Waite deck, the 7 of Cups has like a snake in one of the cups and all these jewels in another cup. And it's like, maybe the cup that has jewels isn't necessarily that good. And the one that has a snake might... Who knows? It might end up being a great lesson for you in some way. The higher message is the Ace of Pentacles. And so it's all about establishing something solid in the future. And that's kind of like where you're going, like stability and something that's tangible. With the Star card, it seems to me it's like... It almost makes me, I know this sounds weird, but it almost makes me think that some Pisces are realizing that when they follow their dreams, they're actually doing something that's practical. Because Pisces isn't a sign overall that I see as being materialistic. And when I say materialistic, I mean, I'm not even talking about being greedy or just shallow. I'm talking about there's some people that really get motivated by making a lot of money, and they really don't care what they're doing because the money is just like so important to them. But Pisces is kind of otherworldly in general. Obviously, there are differences. And so I can't see you being that enamored by the promise of money that you would just kind of give up everything for it, including, you know, liking what you do and stuff like that. I think that there would have to be more to it than that. And so with the Ace of Pentacles, to me, it's almost like saying the way to really have job security is loving what you do, or something like that. And I don't even like to say job security, but more like resonating with what you do is to love what you do. Well, actually not resonating with it. Resonating with it will make it more likely that you will inject a lot of passion into it and that you will stick with it. That's what I meant. What crosses you is the Four of Wands. And by the way, the star card could relate to the sign of Aquarius. So if, for instance, this is a new relationship, possibly with an Aquarius, but just somebody that you feel it's like you've been wishing for, and you feel like maybe you had been seeing a lot of different people, and now you have found somebody that you really feel like you belong with. And even the spiritual message would be suggesting that the relationship has like a sense of potential for long term. The Four of Wands could either be, if you come from an unhappy domestic situation, either you've already been divorced and you're kind of like battered, and I would say, I'm talking about emotionally, obviously. With the Star card, it could be almost like you went through a lot, and now that you're past that, you're feeling a lot of hopefulness again, and losing that pessimism about relationships. But perhaps the memory of those things that were not so nice, or even in childhood, that feeling of like love is destined to hurt. That's something that a lot of Pisces have to kind of realize is not the proper lesson. Even if it was a reality when you were growing up, it's not the right way to look at it. But of course, you know, choosing correctly is important. And actually, this is a card of choice. Two of Wands, this is upcoming. You know, kind of like being at that fork in the road when it comes to decision about something. And with Wands, there has to be passion. So with Pentacles, it can be very practical and looking at it from a perspective of, you know, is this person going to add value to my life in a more, I don't know, tangible sort of a way? What kind of job do they have? What kind of, you know, future can they provide me, or something like that? And, or just, you know, the two people together, not just one for the other. But with the Two of Wands, and this is how I feel, like I said about you earlier, I don't think that you're motivated primarily by money or even like status or things like that. You really need to feel that sense of emotional connection with that person. And in this case, this is fire energy, so it could be about passion. And so I did pick for outcome cards. This one, because it's reversed and the meaning, I didn't want to end on this card. The High Priestess in reverse could be that you're not tuning into your intuition when you're making a decision, and that could have adverse consequences. So for instance, if, like I said, you may have other people that you have been seeing, and with the wands, it could even be like more of a sexual connection. And if you go that route and you kind of ignore the more important things, which are for the long term, you could end up with a situation that is just another affair, but not necessarily permanence, like maybe the Ace of Pentacles would suggest. And so I picked another card, and I got the Five of Swords. And this could be about that deception, that kind of relationship that can be the outgrowth and of, kind of like relationships that are one-dimensional, where the people tell you what you want to hear because they want what they want. And they want to keep you kind of hanging on in, hoping that this affair is going to turn into something more. So the last card I got was the Ace of Wands. And although this is fire energy, it really speaks to this idea of autonomy, independence, and, personal power. I think that's the best way of putting it. So to me, it almost suggests that you become much more autonomous, and even within relationship, that you are able to forge your own path, and not necessarily, maybe you decide, especially if you've been recently in a relationship, I'm not going to see anybody right now. I'm going to do my own thing because I really feel like that's the best course of action for me at the moment. And not, rely on another person to kind of be that guiding force, but you're kind of taking charge of your life. Again, I think that I've mentioned this in the past because Pisces has had Jupiter in their career sector, 10th house, and Saturn before that. And I feel like some of you have been experiencing a lot of career success. This reading could certainly be about landing your dream job. And maybe just, if you have to travel for it, because the Two of Wands can be like deciding whether or not to relocate. And I just told you about that 9th house. That could be long distance travel at the end of October. So perhaps that is part of what this dilemma is about. But I think you're going to choose independence. Okay, Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.